You read the title of this video. We have a lot to talk about. Yeah, we do. Sit your little booty down. With February being the month of love, we were bound for a talk. And so we find ourselves here with a Get Ready With Me, where we'll be unpacking all that. But we gotta address something first, okay? We gotta address the fact that you walked in here, trailed in all your dirty, unnecessary thought patterns, your stigmas, your bacteria, your skin cells, and we gotta thank you, Neutrogena, for sponsoring this portion of today's video. I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable here. Those of you guys who follow me on my Instagram also know that I have been privately dealing with the worst hormonal acne of my life. I've never experienced something like this, and it's taking a lot to even show my bare face on camera right now. With that, I have developed this incredible fear of incorporating new products. And I say all that because of how hard I want to advocate for this cleanser. This is Neutrogena's Hydro Boost Hydrating Cleansing Gel with hyaluronic acid. But don't think that I just chose this baby and she got a free pass into my routine. Nothing gets a free pass. When I was choosing Hydro Boost, I literally called up my dermatologist to do a background check, and I was like,
what's the tea? What's the tea? Are they lying to me?
And he said, and I quote,
"That cleanser is an amazing one. Like, girl, you need to chill."
That's what everybody said. He turned out to be right. This cleanser is so gentle and effective on my skin that is quite literally going through so much right now. Its hyaluronic acid component has been a lifeline for me. It boosts hydration and also locks it in. For anybody who is struggling with their skin, has incredibly sensitive skin, just know that I vetted this baby for you. I ran a full background check and she is spankin' clean. Consider breaking up with your old cleanser and getting this boo thing. All the details are waiting for you, nice and pretty in the description. If you're interested, go ahead and check it out. Thank you, Neutrogena, for sponsoring this portion of today's video. And now let's get into the meat of the video, which is tackling this complex concept of love. In preparation for today's video, I asked you guys on my Instagram, what are your biggest fears and doubts when it comes to love? And as I was scrolling through your responses, I noticed that there were a few themes that just kept popping up, and they include trust issues, commitment issues, fear of getting into a relationship, fear of heartbreak, how to know if someone's right for you, how to voice your needs. Whatever your fears are surrounding love, first of all, word, I'm right there with you. But the second thing I want to say is y'all are all on the right page in the fact that you're thinking about it and worrying about it, because love is a lifeline. It is the human race's biggest survival mechanism. That's why we write songs about it. That's why when your ex dumps you, you feel like you're actually dying, because your body thinks it's actually dying, because it's biologically wired into us to love. It's absolutely essential to our humanity, yet nobody knows what it is, and nobody teaches us how to properly do it. And so I thought it'd be good for me to define what I think is love. I'm reading this really incredible book right now. It's called All About Love by Bell Hooks. But she defines love as the will to extend oneself to nurture one's own or another's spiritual growth. And she goes on to talk about how we often conflate love with this sexy word called cathexis. And I have the definition written down. Cathexis is investing feelings or emotional energy into. We as a society, we really do mistaken if we pour our feelings and our trauma and our deepest thoughts and invest a lot of time into a person that we love them. And this book outright says, like, that's not true. In that incorrect definition of love, it allows for things like abuse and resentment and judgment or ignorance to coexist. And this author, Bell Hooks, talks about how if you truly love somebody, abuse is not possible because you are putting your own self second in order to foster somebody else's growth. When I read that definition, it was so mind-blowing. I realized a lot of my past relationships, I thought that I was in love, but I wasn't. I was practicing cathexis. But that's not to say that just because a relationship isn't love, it doesn't mean that you didn't invest a lot of affection or care into them. Affection and care are all ingredients inside love, but you need to have a lot of freaking ingredients. Respect, no judgment, commitment, care, trust. There are so many ingredients to love, which is why it makes it such a pure thing that a lot of human relationships, I feel like, don't ever get to that point. And so with that being said, I thought I'd share my personal journey of my relationship with love and how I've come to define it. I want to disclaim that I'm only making this video about romantic love because it's February, like Valentine's Day, but I do think that love is all-encompassing and it's very crucial in friendships and in family, and I do plan on making future videos, especially about friendships. In high school, I viewed love as frivolous. I was just focused on career, getting into a good college, and I viewed boys as an absolute waste of time. The little flings that I did have in high school, I feel really bad for all those boys because I did treat them really badly because I had no intention of loving them. I just didn't view love as worthy of my time. I had my first boyfriend in college and I actually dated him while I was on YouTube. Like, y'all didn't know, I was a little sneaky. It was incredibly formative for me because I had never experienced such an intimate bond in which showing all of like the ugliest parts of yourself, I realized like, holy crap, there's so much unaddressed trauma and negative thought patterns I have been just suppressing and I didn't know until I was in a really intimate connection. This person was actually the person that encouraged me to go to therapy and I started embarking on my own mindfulness journey. I'm very lucky that my first relationship, even though it didn't last, like I walked away learning a lot. This was a huge nexus point for me because after this breakup, I viewed love so differently because it's almost like my entire life up till this point, I was on a diet of like kale and spinach. Very good for you. I was very fit. I was very functional. And then I got my first like lick of a lollipop. Okay. And I realized what processed sugar tastes like. And I was like, holy crap, this tastes so fire. And then it gets ripped away from me. Like, we broke up. And in this stage, I found myself really mourning the happy single me before. Because before then, I never yearned for relationships. And now I realize like, oh, it really is great to feel connected to somebody. And so it's almost like I'm being forced to go back on my diet of kale and spinach, but I know how good processed sugar tastes. That was a really long metaphor. You get what I'm saying? So there was a big point in time where I had to really redefine what self-love is. You gotta F up to level up. And a breakup is literally an opportunity to level up. And that's what it did for me because I realized how rich the human brain is with emotions and how much unpacking we really have to do to be truly happy with ourselves. At this point in time, I'm a lot less scared of failure because the risk that you take in falling in love with someone or chasing that connection with someone is so beautiful and like you're only gonna learn from it versus before I was always scared like
It has to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect and a breakup is a failure.
it's not a failure, it's just you're getting to know yourself a little bit better. And so that is a very summarized version of my stance on love, but enough talking about me. Now we're going to talk about you, or really it's us, okay? We're all going through this together, this journey of self-discovery. In reading all of you guys' worries and fears, I think that we can separate all our fears about relationships, love into two big camps, and that's relationship avoidance, those of us who have trust issues, fear of getting into a relationship, fear of rejection, and the other camp I found can be generalized as relationship yearning, which is letting your insecurities project overly too much in a relationship, depending too much on your relationship. So the first camp that I want to like tackle is relationship avoidance. This fear is something that I could resonate a lot with. It's why it took me so long for me to even emotionally open up to somebody like this because I was so fearful of what would happen if I let my most vulnerable self show. It really makes me think about the work of Brene Brown, who is one of my favorite authors and a vulnerability researcher, so an expert on all this ooey gooey stuff. She talks about in Daring Greatly how once you attach your self-worth to something outside of yourself, be it your art, a product, a relationship, you have lost because you have handed over your self-worth to what other people think, which is something that is completely out of your control. And you've now become a prisoner of perfecting, pleasing. She also says this incredible thing of when your self-worth isn't on the table, that's when you're able to take risks and be courageous and do stuff that you've never done before because you're not worried about how the results will impact your own self-esteem and your view of yourself. So if you're having these fears of commitment or scared of rejection, it's because in some shape or form, I don't know what it is for you, but your self-worth is on the table. You're trying to hold and protect this vulnerable side of yourself, and that's what's holding you back from taking this risk. For me, for the longest time, everything I touched had to be a success. Every project, every class, every essay, I mean, even like starting a YouTube channel. That's how I viewed relationships too. Unless I did like a cost-benefit analysis in my head, he fits all these qualities and we're compatible in this way, and 99% sure that like we won't break up, this will be a success. Ding. And because I tied my self-worth to results like that, I was so scared of embarking on a journey where there was a potential opportunity for failure. To all of you guys, I want you to ask yourselves, like, what is that for you? What are you so scared of that's gonna go wrong, and how is that gonna impact negatively your view of yourself. These are not coffee chat questions, okay? Like we can't answer this in like a 10-minute video, but I think the moment we start chipping away at that is the moment that you can start to heal. I feel like I'm not even doing my makeup. Also, this huge pimple is like not going away, bro. With that being said, I don't want this to come off as like you need to be 100% healed to be in a relationship. And I think I've actually said the opposite in one of my past videos. Back then I thought like, yeah, you have to be 100%. That was before I realized that I myself was failing the class. I disagree with that version of myself. Self-love is an ongoing journey for the rest of your freaking life. It's a lifestyle. So now that we've tackled relationship avoidance, let's move on to relationship yearning, which I have a very complex relationship because we as a society, we're very individualistic and we prioritize independence a lot. Like,
You came into this world alone, you're gonna die alone. You only need you.
it's true on a physical level, but we're social beings. Like, we need each other to be happy. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion.
That's my opinion!
At the same time, building a super strong connection only happens when you are self-aware. And it really makes me think of this other fire quote by Bell Hooks. I'm sorry I'm citing so many things, but like, my brain is not this fire. I gotta relay things. Don't shoot the messenger, okay? Many of us seek community solely to escape the fear of being alone. Knowing how to be solitary is central to the art of loving. When we can be alone, we can be with others without using them as a means of escape. And I think that's like the core tenet of what drives the fear of people in the relationship yearning camp. A lot of the times we do turn to relationships because we can't be in our own heads. And so we turn to these other people that we cherish to fill those fears and quell those anxieties. At the end of the day, like, girl, yes, you are the main character, but like, you're the only one who knows the script. Nobody else in this film knows their lines. They are going off of their own movies. They're trying to shoot their own movies. So if you go to this boyfriend and are like, I need to escape from myself and like, you need to fill all of these requirements, they're gonna be like, bro, I don't have these lines memorized. What are you talking about? So the key is to develop a script that is able to stand on its own. Therefore, you can develop any type of synergy with any person who's compatible that comes along your way. What is it with me and like these crazy metaphors? In becoming better at love, the best advice is learn. Continue learning, relearning, unlearning. If you can't have access to a licensed professional, read a lot of books. They've done the research and they've unpacked the chemical and the biological and the emotional elements of this crazy phenomenon. I'm gonna put my lipstick on now. There are two issues that I want to like dive a little bit deeper into before we end. How do you know if someone's right for you? And like, how do you voice your needs in a relationship? So if we're talking about knowing when someone's right for you, if you're not in a relationship with this person yet and you're thinking this, that's the point of dating. You can't know if someone's right or wrong for you without trying. In today's culture that's absolutely saturated with dating apps, it's become so easy for us to be so dismissive. Let them live up or break your expectations. Like, why are you setting the expectations for them? I tell all my friends,
I don't know if I want to go on a first date with this dude.
just do it, bro. If you're already in a relationship and you're questioning like, I don't know if this person's right for me, different situation entirely. Of course, you know the situation the best. I do think it is important to know, like, if you're even asking yourself that question, that's something to take into note. I obviously never want to project my beliefs onto anyone, but what's worked for me is praying. I'm Christian, and so I pray about it and I instantly receive clarity. In my last relationship, I was like, God, show me a sign. It was immediate and I just knew it wasn't something worth pursuing. And so that is like how I personally vet and answer those questions. One crucial thing that I forgot to say while I was filming this is, if you don't like the person that you're becoming in this relationship, that's when you know. Like, that is the final sign that I completely forgot to talk about. The final component is voicing your needs in a relationship. I feel like we're so scared of scaring people off. Oh, if I do this too soon, like if I admit how I feel, I'm gonna scare them off. Saying how you feel or what you need is never gonna ruin a genuine connection. If that person really cares for you, they will step up and be like, oh, I'm so sorry I wasn't meeting your need in this way. The right person will do that. Love is the most intimate, all-encompassing connection that you can embark on, and the person you do it with should be all in. If that offends them, if that scares them, then like, good riddance, bro. And with that being said, that is the finished makeup look. Oh my gosh, that took so long. Happy Valentine's Day. I feel like this video is gonna go up past Valentine's Day, but happy Valentine's Day, happy February. I'm very proud that you are curious in exploring this wonderful thing that we as humans experience. And I'm rooting for you in this journey. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week.